Welcome to another episode of Rise Together. Today we have a special guest, someone I've been trying to get on the show for quite some time. One of the original 15 Instagram stores, I think the largest Instagram following store originally. But now you're in a new store, so we're going to hear all about that right now. Miss Kristen, tell us who you are and why you're on the show today.
Hi, my name is Kristen Falhaber, and I am currently the store manager at Walmart store 4609 in Cincinnati, Ohio. I was the first Instagram store when I was running Walmart 3656. So that was the first account to go live. Almost a year? Has it been a year?
I think so. Maybe more.
Holy cow! It doesn't seem like it's been. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's been that long, but. Yeah, so we were the first store, and I think we were in huge competition with your store, Serge, trying to get to 1,000 followers. I think you beat us with your Spark It. I think you kicked our can there.
That's the Spark Challenge was a lot of fun, yeah, and I think we beat you to 1,000, but now, of course, we can't catch you. I don't even know what that store is at anymore, but
it's at about 1,700, so it's pretty awesome. Especially, I've been gone for about 30 days, and to see the assistants and the associate team just keep rolling with it. I think that's awesome. That it wasn't just like the store manager pushing something; it was the entire team there was really excited about it. And even without me there, they're still rocking and rolling, and I think they're on a mission to get 2,000 followers, which seems so crazy. Because it's a super small store, one of the smallest stores in the region. So they're doing awesome.
Sure. You're exactly right. I mean, that's what leadership looks like, is whether something can continue to go when you're not there, when you're not pushing it. In fact, I've kind of let go of the reins at 4637 as well here in the last several weeks over to Bree, one of our ambassadors, and she's running with it now. So it's kind of fun and exciting, and we're on to just different things, new focuses, and where we're headed. But tell us about your Walmart story, Kristen. Like, where did it all start, and where are you landed today?
So I started with the company about 8 years ago. I started as an assistant manager trainee in the Western Hills store in Cincinnati. I think back then the AMT training program was like 8 weeks long. I started in November, so the worst time for an external to start with the company.
Yep.
And then I ended up at Red Bank, another store in Cincinnati, so store 2250. I was an assistant manager there for about 2.5 years. And then I went to Florence, Kentucky for about 6 months, and then I got promoted. It was like National Promotion Day, which seems crazy. And I got promoted to go back to store 2250 as a co-manager. And I was there about 2.5 years. I'm trying to think. And we had a divisional visit. And the team that I was touring with, basically at the end of that tour, asked what I was still doing there and why I wasn't running the store. So it was scary and empowering at the same time. So I immediately put in for a store, and ended up getting store 3656. In Cincinnati, and that was my first store. I was there right about 2 years, and I have been covering the store that I'm currently at, 4609, on and off since November. So back during Blitz and Black Friday and everything, I was covering both 3656 and 4609, and I went back to 3656 for about 60 days, and then it ended up coming back over here permanently. So been very exciting and a little crazy, but it's been good.
So are both of these stores in Cincinnati? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes. So both of these stores in Cincinnati, they are basically less than 10 minutes away from each other. So I just was driving back and forth. I'd start at one store in the morning, come to the next store in the afternoon. But it's just pretty awesome. Like, you give good direction and you empower your people. You don't need to physically be there. With all the technology that we have on our phones now, I feel like you can manage your store from just about anywhere.
Sure. And I think that's exactly right. As the technology continues to advance for us, one of our focuses is to be technology enhanced for our company, that we're going to be people empowered with technology enhancement for our people. And you're exactly right. That's what's helping us move forward. So you're now at 4609 officially store manager.
Officially.
What's the end game? Can you tell us like what the goals are for the next 5 years for Kristen?
Woo, for the next 5 years? I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of just going with the flow. I think if you would have asked me 8 years ago if I was going to be a store manager, I would have probably thought it was funny. But yeah, so I don't know. I feel like there's so much that Walmart has opened up to me. If you would have talked 8 years ago about Instagram, we wouldn't have been talking about it. So there's so many things that have changed and so many new opportunities that weren't available then. So now I guess I want to dabble in a little bit of everything and see where that takes me.
2 questions. What would your advice be to an internal of just things to look at for their future? And how about an external? Would there be any focuses that you would tell them, man, this is a good avenue to look at?
I think with both internals or externals, it's hone your leadership skills. Figure out what kind of leader you want to be and how you want to manage. And then don't veer from that. Don't let a bad day or maybe a bad manager, someone kind of make you negative. I think you need to know who you are and how you want to be, and how you want to treat your people. For internals, you already know what to do. You just have to put yourself at a higher level. As you promote, you already know Walmart. I think it's really hard for externals. They have to come in and they have to humble themselves immediately.
Absolutely. That's great. Stay humble, ask questions. Great words of advice for sure for upcoming leaders. So any big leadership lessons that have stood out to you in this in your journey?
The biggest leadership lesson would be everything's your fault. Like once you accept that everything is your fault, anything that goes wrong is your fault, then you can focus your time on fixing and learning why. Why is this your fault? Why did this person make this mistake? And how are you going to help them? Because it doesn't matter. Like as a store manager, I could go on vacation. I could leave the country. But if a customer or a visit happens in my building, it's still my fault whether I'm there or not. So just knowing that, I think, relieves a lot of stress. I think that might stress some people out, but once you accept it, you start to manage differently. You stop blaming people. And if an assistant manager didn't do something that I asked them to do, what did I do wrong? How could I rephrase that or explain that in a different manner so that they do understand and they don't make the same mistake?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of our big themes right now, obviously, not right now, always has been don't touch things twice. But so many stores fall into that habit, like you just said, where we're touching things 2 and 3 times, moving things around. But at the end of the day, it comes down to, skill and will. Is the associate have a desire to do whatever's been asked, or do they have the ability to do what's asked of them? I love that you're talking about delegation. And so if we can really own what's ours and understand what real delegation looks like, that's one of the conversations we continue to have. Is delegation still your responsibility, even though you've delegated to someone else? And great delegation, make sure you've done 3 things with great delegation. Make sure that they have the resources necessary, that's tangible and intangible resources, and make sure the person knows how to do it. And so tangible resources, stuff I can touch, intangible resources, the knowledge, the vision to get it done, and the right person for the right job. Those are the 3 steps we have to do for delegation. So hopefully that's moving forward right now for our individuals. Great word. So
no, absolutely.
One of the stories I heard, but you and I, this is our first time to actually talk, one-on-one.
Yeah.
One of the stories I've heard through the grapevine was that your dad is also in management with Walmart.
Yes, my dad has been a store manager. I think it's more than 20 years. I think this is his 20th year with the company. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of grew up in Walmart, I guess you would say. He ran, back when I was in high school, he ran the Wilmington, Ohio store. And he's ran, I don't even know how many stores at this point, but he's now in Tucson, Arizona. So it's definitely cool. I probably talk to him 5 times a day, asking questions, or he's asking me questions. So it's just an interesting dynamic to get an old school thought and an old school way of doing things, maybe just to challenge each other on how to think through things. So with a lot of the old ways we would do things are still relevant today. Yes, we have technology, but think about it this way or that way. And he would bring those up and be like, well, Dad, do it this way. And he'll be like, oh, I wouldn't have thought about it that way. So just having completely different perspectives, because like I said, there's multiple ways to get to the end goal, but kind of meeting in the middle and figuring out maybe which way is the most efficient, or just giving a different thought process to it.
Sure. I love that. I love the idea. I love the vision of you guys talking regular and really talking about management 20 years versus the last couple of years with apps and everything else. I love that kind of mesh. And that's what we're going to have to do moving forward. So many people right now, the hot topic I feel like is, would Sam want it this way or would Sam not want it this way? Some of our longer term associates are feeling frustrated about some of the changes that are happening, but the flip side is you read a lot of Sam's work and he's all about innovation. And that is what the company's always been about. And so some of this change is necessary for us to not just survive, but win the retail war tomorrow. And make no mistake, we're in the middle of it. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Whoever,
I think it's all about change and finding people that want to change. I think that's the frustrating part, but we have to understand, as managers, we have to understand the change so well that we can explain it. I tell my team, like, if you can't explain it to your grandma, then you don't know it well enough. So, and how would we expect our department manager to train a Salesforce associate if we don't have the ability to train them to the level of expectation? So, I mean, it's all about evaluating process and evaluating whether or not they understand the technology. And I mean, that's what we should be doing every day.
So one of the last questions we always ask is the Walmart Spark. And this is an interesting one because so many people have thoughts on it, but it really comes down to just what do you think of when you see the Walmart Spark?
I think it's all about change. I think it's about embracing change, empowering your people to embrace change. Because at the end of the day, the store manager can embrace change, but if we're not teaching it and explaining it well enough to where it's a positive and not a negative, then our teams are never going to embrace change. And then if our teams don't embrace change, our customers are never going to embrace it.
While you were talking, I have one more question I want to ask. As a store manager, something that I get a lot of questions about throughout the week are department managers, hourly associates who are saying, how do I talk with my store manager when things are bad? Like when maybe the relationship's not great, or they think that the store manager doesn't like them, or something's just, hard. What kind of advice would you give our associates of how they have that conversation? Well, we call that conversation up with someone in your position and with a store manager.
I think everyone has to practice empathy. I know I'm guilty of it. Store managers run around like crazy people, right? We want to make sure everything's right. We're evaluating process all day. We're kind of playing dodgeball some days. Who knows what's going to be thrown at us? So I feel like the store manager as well as the associate has to maybe try and understand where the other person's coming from, but ask for the open door. I mean, that's what it's there for, and to set up the time. So I think a lot of associates fail to get their manager's attention because they want to discuss it right now. Their emergency has to be addressed in the moment. Well, there could be 5 other emergencies going on in the store manager's mind, and yes, we should always stop and make time for the associate, but it might not be at 2:05. You might need to come see me at 3 o'clock and we'll sit down and chat and we'll try to come to an agreement. But I always challenge my team that if there's something wrong, don't just come to me with your problem. What idea do you have as a solution? Because we hear problems all day. I mean, that's our job, is to help fix problems. But if we start empowering our associates to fix those problems on the front side, we're not sitting down and complaining about it. We're just fixing it. So I think it really is about the management team empowering their people and trusting them. But we've got to teach and train on the front side so that we don't walk out there like, oh my God, what happened? I was gone for 2 hours and who did this or who did that?
Sure.
It's about getting on the front side and empowering them to make the decisions, and then celebrating it the next day. Thank you for setting my fighting hunger aisle. You guys did a great job. Everything's priced properly. We flagged it. Good job to this team. So even the little things that we just expect, we still have to celebrate those little victories and empower those associates.
Great stuff. Great stuff. So to our hourly associate and even our assistant managers, when working with a store manager, find a good time. Don't just assume that this time's the right time. Own whatever it is. I mean, know up front what's not good, but also have some solutions coming forward with how you can, how you think it could work, how you could fix it. And the flip side, store management, have some empathy and make sure you follow up, right? Use those encouraging words. So great words. Thank you so much, Kristen, for your time today. I know that you're there. You're in the mode right now. This is your lunch hour, and so I appreciate your time for sure. Any last minute thoughts for us?
No, I mean, if you have questions or concerns, or you can find me on Instagram at Kristen Falhaber. Send me a message, a direct message, and I'm always here to help, or send me an email.
Do this with your fingers and we'll put your hashtag up there. Right there.
Okay, there you go.
There it is. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching today. As always, you can watch all of these episodes in their entirety on YouTube, Facebook, as well as listening to it on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud. Oh my goodness, anywhere great videos and music is shared, that's where we are. So come find us, Rise Together Walmart. And again, thank you so much, Kristen, for being on the show. And we look forward to everyone checking back in next week. Thank you.